Hi, everyone. How are you? Happy Sunday. Hope you guys are doing great. Welcome to my impromptu podcast. Hope you all have had a wonderful week so far. Hope you are having a wonderful, sunny, bright, in every way Sunday. Welcome, welcome. I know this is very late, last minute, impromptu, all of that stuff, but sometimes that's kind of how my schedule is, and I'm not sure when I could do stuff, so I try to do it as soon as I possibly my it's crazy life of an artist is kind of crazy, but I am happy to be hanging out with you guys. Right now I see 27 of our favorite people are here. Not sure, who will be with us in the chat, but let's go. Let's find out, and we'll just, talk whatever is happening in the world of royals, I guess you could say. I have not been on here for the last couple of days. It's been a little bit crazy. So yeah, it's been a little much, and so I've been trying to keep up with what's going on in the world. Our faves, they're home, hanging out under a tree, doing what they're doing, and we're just happy that they're doing that and not being a part of any of the mess that's going on Shutter Island. So yeah, I'm happy they're doing whatever it is they're doing, quietly doing it and not responding to any of the nonsense. Therefore, their name, is like nobody can say Harry and Meghan did anything, or said anything. They are literally not even responding to reporters asking them stupid questions. So I am very, very happy about that, and I hope you all are too. That our faves are, minding their business, doing their things in California. So let's see who's in the chat so far joining us. Hi, Church Nelly. Welcome back. I'm glad it seems you're feeling better, and I'm happy to see you back. So that means you are feeling better. So that is awesome. Karen M, our awesome other moderator, is here as well. Hello, Karen M, and Sistren, and Toby, and Carol, and Kenitha, Teslin, Vanzola, Marjorie, Hazel, Mary. Let's see who else is here. And Dory. Yeah, so welcome everybody. And hopefully more of our friends will join at some point, or maybe not. It's Sunday. People got places to go, people to see, things to do and all of that wonderful stuff. So hopefully they are having fun, and they could just catch this on the replay if they like to. So yeah, R.R. Carter is here. Mary G is here. I think I said Mary before, but anyways, so welcome guys. So what's up? What's been going on in your world in the last, in the last couple of days? Last time I was here on Friday, and last time I was here was on Thursday. Friday I was off doing a shoot, and it was fantastic. I had a fantastic time. We were shooting in a sweet shop where it's like a candy shop. I didn't know that was a thing. I am not a candy person. I don't normally eat candies and stuff like that. So I didn't realize candy stores were a thing. And it's a thing, and it's not just for kids. Adults buy candies in like bags, and I was just like, really? In my growing up, it would be kids after school, running off with and getting candies, and that's what I thought. But no, adults are into candies. I was just like, wow, this is a whole new world that I was never exposed to. And I mean, if you grew up in the Caribbean, we're very, at least in my family anyway, I don't know if it's every Caribbean family were like this. We weren't raised on sweets. We were raised on sweets on a Sunday, and that was our big treat for the week. And my grandmother and my sister and I would actually make ice cream, and that would be our sweet. So we weren't raised on tons of candies. So for me, this was like a whole new world. And even as an adult, I think because I was raised that way, I was not into candies. And so needless to say, we left that store with a whole big bag of candy. They were like, please take a lot of candies. They were so excited for us to have some. So I was just like, oh, okay. And so it's been very interesting tasting some of these things. I just never had them before. And so, yeah, so I guess, maybe I'm the only one, but it's Sister says, yes, but sweeties were a treat. Yeah, they were a Sunday treat for us. Other than, we didn't grow up after dinner, you have dessert. I mean, that's just not a thing. You ate so much food, you didn't have any room for desserts later. Not that, my grandmother never, as you could tell, I was raised with my grandmother. So my grandmother never raised us on that. So it's just like, now I'm happy about that. But it was just very interesting new world there for me. So yeah, I had a good time. Um, let's see. R. Carter says, picked up a copy of the special Royal People magazine on Prince Harry today. Oh, that's interesting. I've heard different things about this. I don't, normally go out and buy People magazine, but I've heard interesting things. I think someone said that the majority of the front of it was about other royals, and then Harry came at the back. Of course, they're going to save the best for last. I mean, they want you to flip through and see the others. If they put Harry in the front, then you most likely won't read the rest of it. So that's kind of how they do it. But yeah, so you can share with us or Carter, what you've learned. So put in the chat what you saw in there. And again, I'm not advocating buying People magazine, but hey, if you want to buy People magazine, go for it. So let's see. I know it's 12:37, and I'm not sure what time Baron is on today. So if he is on at 1, and I know, a lot of you may want to run off the Baron, totally fine. You can always come back and see this on the replay, because I'm going to go a little bit beyond 1 o'clock, so which is normally when Baron comes on. So feel free, jump off, and then come back later. It's totally fine. So yeah. Let's see. Oh, Patricia said she just brought it today. It's 12.99 from People magazine. I'm assuming that's what you mean. Oh my goodness. I'll read it when I get home. I had no idea these things were this expensive. Wow, that's interesting. Oh my goodness. Lydia is here. Hi, Lydia. Awesome moderator. Awesome. Welcome, Lydia. Thank you so much for being here as usual. Awesome, Lydia. Just Church Nelly and Karen M, Cookies and Cream. Awesome moderators here. Let's see. George Nelly said they put Harry on the front cover so people would buy it. Then they have psychotic and neurotic in there. Oh, so they have. So I'm assuming they have, all the others in there as well. Wow, that is interesting. Yeah, well, again, I was saying I wasn't sure which one of the royals were there, but I should have assumed that, the other ones on Shutter Island would be, the other brother and his wife would be there. So interesting. $12.98 at Walmart. Wow, that's it's unreal. But anyways, so some other wonderful stuff has happened. Actually, we know a couple of days ago, on July 1st would have been Princess Diana's 61st birthday. And so the Diana Award, that always every year honors her birthday. Again, it's the Diana Award. And it normally is, at least what I thought it was both what Baron is on at 12:30. Really? I did not realize that. I never get his things. So sorry, Baron. I didn't know you were on at 12:30 today. So has moved this chat to back half an hour. Oh, wait. He has moved it back half hour. Is that from half an hour from 1 o'clock? Okay, so if you could let me know, so I can just alert people if they want to, jump over to Baron and come back to this later. Whatever is fine. Today is just one of those days where I'm not able to do it later, so I had to do it when I can do it. The podcast, and again, if you need to jump off to Baron, it's totally fine. You can come back and watch this later. It will be there on the replay. It's completely fine. So, anyways, So thank you, Lydia. Now I forgot what I was saying. Oh, Princess Diana's. Oh, okay. So Karen says Baron is at 1:30 p.m. today. Okay, thank you so much, Karen. I appreciate that. So 1:30 again, Baron is there. Thank you so much. So, what I was saying, Princess Diana's birthday was on the first. She would have been 61st, and so the Diana Awards, as we know, is the award that honor her, but it also is an award really that really honors young people around the world who are doing great things in their community. I mean, fantastic things in their community. I posted a link and also about it in our community page a couple of days ago. So hopefully you had a chance to watch the video. It's very, very inspiring video about the young people, at least some of the young people who were hosting, along with Tessie Ojo, who is like the head or the CEO of the Diana Awards, and also Prince Harry was also co-hosting along and introducing people along with the other young people that was on the show. So I hope you had a chance to watch it, and them highlighting how these young leaders are really making incredible impact around the world. And so again, if you haven't seen it, the link is in our community page. It's also going to be in the link is also going to be in the show notes of this. As soon as I'm done, I'm going to jet over. I didn't even have a chance to fill out the show notes before this. So as soon as I'm done, it's going to be in the link is going to be also in the show notes of this video. So anyways, and what I was saying is that I thought it was Prince Harry and the other brother who were really part of this and really being there with Tessie Ojo, but it seems to be really Prince Harry, the one that's really been keeping up with the Diana Award and really been there, as hands-on as possible, really being in there with the teens and reading all their letters and their projects and all of that stuff. So it seems to be, as usual, and we shouldn't be surprised that it's Prince Harry, the one that's, because the other brother likes to, take credit for a lot of stuff, doesn't necessarily like to be hands-on with a lot of things. So this was a tweet from on July 1st from the Diana Awards. So this was their tweet. All of you have helped keep her voice alive by showing the world how each small actions count, how kindness is still valued, and how our world can be better if we choose to make it so. The Duke of Sussex. And of course, this was from a video, which was, also going to be linked in the show notes when we are done. So this was obviously Prince Harry from, California, being a part of the Diana Awards. And again, it was all virtual. So it was very, very, again, I hope you had a chance to watch it. Very, very, very impactful. And NBC LA, I think it's NBC LA, actually did a little bit of a write-up about it. So I thought I'd, pull this in. It says, Prince Harry reflects on the Princess Diana's legacy on her birthday. In a speech for the 2022 Diana Awards, Prince Harry delivered an emotional tribute to his late mother, Princess Diana, reflecting on how she would have turned 61 on Friday. The 2022 awards premiered Friday, Diana's birthday, with Harry giving the opening speech for the ceremony. He said there isn't a day that goes by that he doesn't think about the mark she's left, not only on me and my brother, but on all of our lives. I see her legacy, and this is Prince Harry saying, I see her legacy in all of you. I see her legacy in the Diana Awards community that spans multiple generations, the Duke of Sussex said. I see her legacy every time I meet with families, young people, and children from all corners of the world. The prince also referenced his children, saying he sees his mother's legacy in them as well, as a husband and a parent. And he said Diana's voice is even stronger in his life. He called this year a special year, encouraging viewers to take extra time to reflect on Diana's legacy and how it lives on through the change makers being honored by the awards. And I really just love that. I mean, yes, we know the other brother is her son. I mean, obviously, but there's something about Harry and the way he speaks about his mom that it just touches your heart. It just, it's not just words, it's not just something that he has to do every year. It's just something that is so deeply ingrained in him. And just, he always talks about the values that his mom taught him, and, that he holds on to. And it's, and I feel like it's not just like he holds on to them. It's just a part of who he is. And you don't ever get that same connection with the other brother. You just don't get it. It's not there. I mean, yes, he talks about his mother and the things he's learned from his mother and all of that stuff. But there's something about the way Harry is able to, whether it's the way he expresses it, the way he lives, the way he embodies it, that I think just connect with people. And then people just can't help gravitating towards it. And so I don't know, I love it. I love just listening to him talk about his mother. And it's so wonderful to hear him talk about the impact, and seeing it live out in his marriage. I mean, whatever he says as a husband, I'm like, oh, that's just me. And as a parent or as a father. And so I absolutely love this. And the Diana Awards, I mean, again, those young people, this is one of the people that the article said that Harry introduced it, but if you saw the actual the live presentation, the virtual presentation of the awards, you'll see that Harry actually was there from the beginning, the middle, introducing this amazing young lady, Priya Patel, and also he was there to close it. And so one of the incredible change makers that he talked about is this young lady, Priya Patel, from New Jersey. She's 17 years old, and she's the founder and director of this organization that's called Peer Responders. And again, she started it when she was only 15, and now it's international, where she created this, I guess, curriculum or this thing where they're able to train kids around the world about how to help their friends if they are going through a mental crisis, if they're going, so many things that go on with kids that they, you want and you encourage them to talk to an adult, to speak to someone at school, like a counselor, whatever. But kids are kids. They will gravitate to talking to their friends as opposed to talking to parents or an adult who might not understand them. And so Priya, she created this thing, and this whole, I guess it's like a curriculum thing. I don't want to say it's a curriculum because that's more like school, but it's like this whole thing where they're training kids to be able to help their friends. So, there's this whole community that are able to train to know what to say, how to respond, especially, if your friend comes to you with they're in a mental crisis, they're, a lot of things like suicide and all of these things that go on with teenagers. And so this group of this 17-year-old that she started when she was 15 has created this thing where thousands of kids are now being trained with how to help their friends, how to speak to them, how to respond, how to, maybe not freak out if a friend tell you, oh my gosh, this is what I'm going through, and it is just amazing. And so she is one of the many that are doing this incredible stuff around the world. And this is a one that Prince Harry introduced. There's also another young man. Oh, I should have brought in this picture. A young man in the UK who, as we know, in the UK, knife crime is a big issue there with kids. And especially in, say, the Black and brown community. So this young man who is this young, kid, I don't want to say young man because I don't want to adultify kids, but it seems like he's a teen as well. This teen, he is part of an organization that funds other young kids in the community that are affected by knife crime or being in those situations, to be able to they give them money to be able to create all kinds of different projects. Basically what it's doing, it's getting kids away from that environment to where they are able to use their creativity to work together and create all these wonderful things to help them to see there's another path, that they could go. I mean, these kids are just simply amazing. And so I was blown away, and just how intelligent they are, how passionate they are. I mean, just watching some of the they're little ones, and you can just see the passion that they have for whatever it is that they're creating in their part of the world. And I just think it's fantastic the work that they're doing, and I'm really, really happy to see Harry as, there he is in the UK, in the US. He could have been like, you know what, the UK, whatever they're doing there is not my thing anymore. I've moved on, and it's wonderful. I mean, in spite of all the mess that goes on in the royal family and the press and whatever, it's just for me wonderful to see that Harry has still stayed there with the youth, and not just in the UK, but kids from all over the world. And so I just thought it was the most wonderful thing. So if you have not seen the video, definitely watch it. And I'm also going to put the link to the Diana Award if you ever want to check them out, if you ever want to support them in whatever way that you think you can. That would be awesome too. And as I always say, always vet before you support. Always do your vetting. So there you go. So I just think it's fantastic. So let's jump into the chat for a second. Lydia says she was very impressive and deserving cause, and a deserving cause for sure. Absolutely. I mean, these kids are amazing. I'm like, I need to learn from you. I learned so much from watching these kids. It's amazing. And Terry said, yes, his speech was very emotional, and that's why most media were focused on him, unlike William. It's exactly. It just it definitely impacts your heart, and really wants you to be a part of what he is talking about. So yeah. Patty says, exactly, Petal. He never called his mother paranoid. Oh yeah, that too. With that BBC fake outrage at the BBC, basically calling his mother paranoid, and that's why people can't relate to Prince William. Totally why. One of the reasons why they can't relate to him when he talks about her. Let's see. So let's move on. I'm just scrolling the chat to see what y'all saying. Marjorie M says, that goes to show Prince Harry was the brains behind the award. In the past awards, Lazy Baltimore only showed up to take pictures. Okay. I don't know. I don't know how this award run. I don't know. Other than Tessie Ojo, I don't know what the team is, so I don't know exactly, how hands-on either William or Harry is, but definitely Harry's a lot more hands-on, as we've seen. Would we be surprised if the other brother just comes for the picture? No, because that's pretty much what he does. So nobody would be surprised at that. So yeah. Lavertha says, Prince Harry is so generous. He always mentions how brother, while on the other hand, oh well. I think you're saying that he always mentioned his brother, in terms of his mother. He always does. It's like, it's funny with Harry. It's like he's always talked about, that he loves his brother and whatever. And someone had mentioned a while ago that they've never heard that from William. And I have to say the same. I have never heard him say that, that he loves his brother. Maybe he has, and I just haven't read it or seen it. But especially recently, I definitely have not seen it. But anyway, moving on from this. And there was this letter, actually, I forgot about this one. This letter that Prince Harry wrote to the awardees. And I love it. It says, it's a little faded because of, I'm not sure why we couldn't get it brighter, but this is as bright as, I hope you're able to see it. It says, Prince Harry said, I wanted to reach out directly to share how inspiring it has been to read your stories, speak to you, well, actually, dear awardees, I should say, I wanted to reach out directly to share how inspiring it's been to read your stories, speak to you, and learn about the work you're doing day in, day out to strengthen your communities. And because of that, strengthen the world. We are in awe of everything you've already accomplished, and you know you have what it takes to continue developing into the change makers who will shape our collective future, even as young leaders. Your impact is immeasurable. We need you more than ever. The Diane Award is a special honor, one you have worked so hard to earn. As I said while hosting this year's event, I see my mother's legacy reflected in this community and its work, in your work. She would be so proud to see what you and your generation are accomplishing. She always understood what young people could do, which is so much, especially when given the right support and investment. I am genuinely grateful to be part of the Diana Award family. Never forget that you are making the world a better place. Keep up the good work because we all need and all benefit from the energy, passion, creativity, and care that you bring to everything you do. With deep appreciation, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. And again, the passion of this is just, oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't know. I'm just going on. I'm sure you guys have seen this letter before. I'm sure you've heard this before. Again, I haven't been here in the last couple of days. But I just, for me, and for those of you who hadn't seen it, I just love it. So kudos. Thank you, Prince Harry, for not only, lauding the nominees and others who weren't even nominated, who are doing great work in their communities, and just the passion that they bring to it. I mean, I just love all of it. So anyway, moving on. You guys remember Patrick Hutchinson? Prince Harry did this interview with him for GQ. I think it's like a couple of years ago, not too long after they were moved to Montecito. I love this interview. And in the interview, actually, if you look at the GQ cover at the bottom, it says they talked about anti-racism, education, and mental fitness. And it was an incredible interview because of what had happened with Patrick Hutchinson. And just a little bit about Patrick Hutchinson, just in case you don't know him, and we'll get into a little bit of why he did, and how he came to do the interview with Prince Harry. But a little bit about Patrick Hutchinson, which is very interesting, and some stuff I didn't know about him, which was one. It says, born in Coventry, England, raised in the capital London by a Jamaican single mother from the Windrush generation, Patrick's mother, Maxine, did all she could for her son and daughter, Pauline, which includes going without at times to ensure her children were happy. On his father's side, he's one of 9 children. 5 girls, 4 boys, personal trainer, athletics coach, public figure, martial arts author, and now co-founder of UTCAL, Patrick's father of 4 and with 4 grandchildren. I mean, it's like amazing to me that he has grandchildren. He just even, I don't know, it's Black people. We never look our age. It has been motivating people and uplifting his community long before he became a national hero. And, and if you, on the other side, it talks about the image on the 13th of June, 2020, Patrick and his friends, and that's on the right-hand side, second paragraph. On 13th of June, 2020, Patrick and his friends were compelled to intervene in an incident which would consequently change the course of their lives and shock the world. The image of Patrick rescuing an anti-BLM protester from serious harm went viral. And his action also helped save the BLM protesters from from being hijacked by negative press. The incident also changed the narrative. Luckily, Patrick heroic play among the chaos was captured on the camera, and in a matter of hours, the likes of CNN, New York Times, Guardian, Sun, ITV, BBC, Channel 4 News, and Channel 5 News, Channel 5 started calling. He has since featured inside magazines such as GQ, as we just looked at with Prince Harry, and Vogue, as well as the front cover of Men's Health magazine. GQ also nominated him as GQ Hero and awarded him with their Men of the Year Humanitarian Award. All this in the space of 6 months. And Patrick is now seen as a beacon of hope, an advocate for change, diversity, and inclusion, and unity the world over. And I just love that. I mean, I guess we, and I'm sure we all remember the images that of Patrick and this anti-BLM protester. And the whole thing was that, the BLM protests were going on, and then the press, of course, in the UK, if you remember, the press, of course, was very, very negative towards the protests, towards the Black Lives Matter movement in the UK. And then there was also the protest was happening. Then the anti-protesters were there, supposedly protecting the statues. It's like, never mind you protect, people's lives, but they were there apparently to protect statues against BLM protesters. They claimed that would be, damaging the statues. And it's always amazing to me where, there were all these, if you guys remember the images of all these police around the statues to protect the statues, they would be attacking and really being horrendous towards the people protesting, but they're all standing there around protecting statues. And that would always, I would never understand that. It's like you're there protecting statues, but you don't really care about the people's lives at all. It's more about, let's protect our monuments, and so this man that Patrick was who he had on his shoulder was one of those, and he turned out to be a former cop that was there. And and it's just it's always amazing to me how one of the things that they were protesting at the time was police brutality, and it turned out this man was a former cop and an anti-BLM protester. And there is Patrick with him on his shoulder. And one of the things that, came out, and I don't even know if they actually met in the tabloids, it had mentioned that the guy had said, that Patrick saved his life and all that stuff. I don't know if he ever took the time to meet Patrick and to thank him for saving his life. And it was claimed that he was beaten up by, I don't really know the whole, it didn't seem like they really know exactly how he got to be in the situation that he is in. But, if this didn't happen, it's the Black people would be blamed for whatever happened to this man. So needless to say, this is the image that, that was blasted around the world of Patrick with, and even though part of me, every time I see it, it's like, yeah, this is the image that they want to see, with a Black man having a white man on his show. It's like, ugh, and even though I know that, it people look at it as a positive, it just, and I understand, but it's still, that image irks me. It really does irk me. And also knowing that, he wasn't exactly supporting Black people, but yeah, Black people are the ones that saved a Black man. And not just Patrick. Actually, Patrick was there with his friends to make sure that, to keep the march and the protest positive, or to let it not descend into what the press was thinking it was going to be. So him and his friends really basically rescued the movement at that time, from becoming, from the press really attacking it with a bunch of negativity. So, and one of the things, and you can see a bit of it at the top. This was a video actually and I went on to Patrick's Instagram page and saw all these videos that I didn't realize was there before. And this was a video that he had posted there with Al Sharpton actually thanking him for his reaction to the situation, because had they not stepped in and took this man out, you could have imagined what the British press would have, you could just imagine what they would have blasted around the world about the BLM movement there. And so Al Sharpton, if you don't know who that is, he's a civil rights activist in the US, especially he's in New York. And so he's very famous American civil rights activist. And so this is one of the things, and this is what he said. And I went in and transcribed his, what he said to Patrick in that time. He says, "I saw what you did." That is Al Sharpton talking to Patrick. He said, "I saw what you did, and it warmed my heart. It had just come, I had just come from a demonstration the day before and had done several speeches, and I tried to articulate what you did in, I forgot the word what, and I tried to articulate what you did in one gesture, because as a student of Dr. Martin Luther King, who also studied Gandhi, who also therefore studied Gandhi, Gandhi said, we must become the change we seek. You demonstrated that without opening your mouth, without any drama, without any press notices. And I want you to know you put the movement in a keener perspective than anything those of us that has been out there could say or do. And I admire you greatly. The words could not pronounce how much I admired what you did. And so that was Al Sharpton really being grateful for what Patrick did, because again, he rescued the narrative around the Black Lives Movement in the UK that day. And so I just, I mean, he's an incredible guy. And, there is a little bit of what the Guardian what to say about this. It says the counter protester carried to safety by a Black Lives Matter protester last weekend is a former British officer at the British Transport Police, and the force has confirmed. Bryn Mail, who has yet to speak publicly about the event in the of the weekend, had led Patrick Hutchinson be hailed as a hero, worked in the London area for British Transport Police, and was latterly a detective constable. He retired from the force in 2014, the spokesman says. Relatives of Mail have reportedly said he would be willing to thank Hutchinson, but there's yet to be any public comment from him. And, it's funny to me when I saw this, because it's like, he'd be willing to thank him. It's just like, excuse me, and it just, and I always go back to thinking, if this was reversed, if that was a Black man underground there, would this man have picked him up in this way? Would this police officer who, we know how much they have been targeting Black men, especially in the UK and the US. If that was a Black man underground, would he have if Patrick Hutchinson was underground in that same situation, would he have put Patrick on his shoulder? And it's just kind of when I saw that he'd be willing to think, it's like, okay. And again, the tabloids said that, that he said Patrick saved his life and all of that. I haven't seen any of the UK so-called legit press say that. So I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. But, I have no other I have not heard anything about him making an effort to meet Patrick. They may have, but I just don't know. If you guys have heard it, please put it in the chat so we can update it. But I just haven't seen any information that he is, gone out of his way to help Patrick. And it's just very interesting to me. And, it's one of the things too, where, again, going back to, and that was one of the reasons, I said all that to say that's one of the reasons, the things that happened, how he ended up talking to Prince Harry and me. These are just a couple of pictures from him and Prince Harry's conversation, and Patrick, him and Harry talking about just what that experience was, and just his advocacy against racism, etc., in the UK. And one of the things too I love is his support for Harry. I mean, he talked about just his love for Harry. He talked about him that came from his mom loving Princess Diana and just how much that his mom just loved Princess Diana, and that love has transferred onto her son, and just how much he supports Harry. And how, if you've seen the interview, which I'll actually try to post actually in the comments if you hadn't seen it, just how he was just so happy to talk to Harry. It's like, oh. And so this was just on when he posted this was from his Instagram that I went and snooped. I'm sorry, Patrick, I was snooping your Instagram. It's incredibly inspiring, his Instagram. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. Very inspiring Instagram page. And the second paragraph, it says the media, well, actually, I'll just read the whole thing. It says, at Kovic's Inc.'s new podcast live with journalist Helen, whatever, just a snippet of our discussion where she asked me about the unconscious bias in the corporate sector, along with my world exclusive with the Duke of Sussex, #Prince Harry. There's a media obsession of negative press surrounding Sussex Royal, which was Harry and Meghan's. It's actually he actually did it wrong, but it's Sussex Royals at the moment. So I enjoyed watching Prince Harry spend time with James Corden at James Corden. It was refreshing seeing him having some fun on camera. I am in full support of the Sussex Royals for the positive work that they do and look forward to their upcoming conversations with Oprah. Those of us who are old enough just needs to cast our mind back to Princess Diana's treatment to know what was happening is just history repeating itself. And I just love that. I loved his support for Harry and Meghan, and just, it's like, look, I love them from Princess Diana, so I'm going to support them. And I just love that. I love that he didn't, he's not backing down or backing away no matter what. And it's like, I'm looking forward to that conversation. And it's just interesting to me because all of this came back to me because I saw this and it was just like, well, this is interesting. Look at Patrick. And if you see the first picture up there, it's like Mr. Patrick Hutchinson invited to the Royal Box on Thursday, June 30th. Yep, that's Patrick. Invited to the Royal Box at Wimbledon. And it was just like, wow, look at this. I mean, I don't know the procedures of being invited to the Royal Box. I don't know who invited him to the Royal Box. And there he is, all excited by center court. And oh, actually, I just realized the center photo is him by the Wimbledon trophies. And I didn't realize that my little thing here cut off the trophies. Oh, that's him by the image, by the trophies. And top right, you can see him in the stands. And that's him at the bottom with Sierra, and I don't remember what Sierra's husband's name is. He's a football quarterback. Oh, shoot. I don't remember what his name is. But y'all can help me out with Sierra's husband, whatever his name is. But that's them there. And it is incredible. I was just like, you go, Patrick. And again, I don't know who gave him sent him the invitation, and I don't know the process of how you get, but I just think it's very interesting. And why I thought that is that I've noticed with especially William and Kate, especially, that whatever Harry and Meghan have done in the UK, there is a concerted effort to insert themselves into that situation, or meet with the same people, or sort of insert themselves in the same, whether it's a charity or whatever. Thank you, R. Carter Russell. There you go. That is Sierra's husband, Russell Wilson. Thank you, Sylvia. I appreciate it. I couldn't remember his name, but wonderful guy, wonderful quarterback, Russell Wilson. And so awesome. Thank you, guys. I do all of my awesome. C-Max says Russell Wilson, his husband goes. He is, and Sierra, they're very, very happy together. So kudos to them. But yeah, so I just, and again, that could just be me being, a little bit like suspicious. But I just thought it was interesting. I was like, oh, could this be another way where they're trying to insert themselves into, and get in with people that Harry and Meghan have, who they have a relationship, who they've, and I don't know. It's just one of those things that stuck out to me. And again, it could just be me being suspicious, but I'm suspicious about anything they do. And especially that, with people that Harry and Meghan have any kind of relationship with, I'm always suspicious. But anyways, kudos to Patrick. Hope he, it seemed like he had a great time enjoying being in the Royal Box at Wimbledon. So anyways, moving on. goodness, I saw someone give a, yeah. Don, thank you so much. Dawn Robinson Gales, thank you so much for your super sticker. I appreciate your support as usual. You are always supporting. A lot of you are always supporting, and I just appreciate it so, so much. So yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So Sylvia says, well, I'm noticing that, yes, they are starting to insert themselves into Sussex relationships. And that's the thing. That's why it kind of stuck out to me. That's why there's just like, So, I kind of also wanted to give a little bit of backstory about Patrick Hutchinson, just in case other people don't know who he is. Awesome guy. Check out his Instagram. Very, 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 very inspiring. Peeler Prescott, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for your donation. Thank you. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. Let's see. Moving on from my suspicions. Oh, Lord. I don't know how many of you were on yesterday. I don't know if Baron may have talked about it. Duchess of Success. Again, I haven't been on YouTube the last couple of days because of stuff. And so they may have talked about this. But, I mean, the audacity of some people is just, it's amazing to me. And guys, we've talked about this. Pamela and I did a whole episode on these lying royal gossipers. This is like a hard left from what we were just talking about, the inspiration of Patrick Hutchinson and the wonderful people. So again, I need to get some music to when I do these hard left turns on stories, because it's like, ugh. So they may have talked about these four, well, especially top right, Victoria Arbiter, and Sussex Squad have labeled her Apartheid Barbie. But anyways, Victoria Arbiter, if you know the story, Victoria Arbiter, her father, Dickie Richard Fitzwilliams, and this one who is the head of Majesty magazine, that I think part of me just intentionally always forgets her name, and I don't care to look. I don't even care to figure out who she is and what her name is, but whatever. They all took money to go on this, what they thought was a show, but if you know anything about Josh Peters and Archie Manners, they are pretty much pranksters. They prank a lot of people, and a lot of times the pranks that they do is outing horrible people, like Katie Hopkins, when they outed her picking up this award when she's completely racist, and she has eventually been kicked off Twitter forever. And but anyway, so these royal gossipers knowingly, as we talked about, went on this, what they thought was a show before the Oprah interview, to comment on an interview before the interview actually happened. And so Josh and Archie were asking them all these odd questions. I mean, and they're answering as if they saw the interview. And supposedly, according to Victoria Arbiter, this is a normal thing in the UK, where they do this sort of thing, where they have these supposed royal commentators and royal expert answer questions about some stuff they haven't yet seen, and then after the thing airs, I guess they edited to make it look like they answered after the fact, because according to Victoria Arbiter, this is a norm. So she did this, and so obviously this went viral when it happened, and none of them have apologized. They've all made excuses about what they have done. None of them have apologized for what they've done. And so Victoria Arbiter, and I remember when this happened, sending her a long thread about the fact that she's what she did was fraudulent, and that she needs to apologize for what she did, and she never has. And so finally, Victoria Arbiter has the audacity of this woman is unbelievable to me. Decided, she's going to, I guess, do an interview with the Telegraph, which is now, I guess, today I saw picked up by the Daily Fail. And this was their headline. Well, actually, it started out with a headline on the left. It started out as royal expert threatens to sue pranksters who tricked her into commenting on Sussex Oprah interview. And then a little bit later, again, this was from the Telegraph, which is the, glorified tabloid, UK glorified tabloid. Then they changed it because I guess that didn't sound, she didn't sound as victim enough. They changed it to cruel hoax and Sussex squad ruined my life, says royal expert Victoria Arbiter threatens to sue pranksters who tricked her on Sussex's Oprah interview before it aired. And so it's like, are you serious? I'm like looking at this, I'm like, you have to have some serious audacity to be blaming cruel hoax and the Sussex squad for ruining her life. What we did was call her out and not allow her to to hide her fraud. She took money for this. She took $300. I mean, it's like, you ruined your life for $300. That's embarrassing enough. But she took money. She knowingly took money to commit fraud, and now she's blaming Archie Manners and Josh Peters and Sussex squad who called her out, and for her crime. I mean, this is like, she just wanted to be a fraud in peace, basically, is what Victoria Arbiter is doing, and this is some of the article. I mean, I just like, girl, I'm telling you, this let me just take off my little scrolly thing. Oh, by the way, that little scrolly thing, if you haven't done that, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when we drop a video. But let's just take that off so it's not blocking any of the text. So this is some of the article, just in case you haven't seen it. It says the daughter of the Queen's former press secretary is threatening to sue two pranksters who tricked her into commentating on Oprah Winfrey interview with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex before it aired. Victoria Arbiter was canceled by CNN, the U.S. television news channel, and suffered horrific online abuse at the hands of the so-called Sussex squad. First of all, we are not a so-called Sussex squad. We are Sussex squad, and we did not abuse Victoria Arbiter, the internet army that supports the Duke and supports Harry and his wife. In the wake of the hoax, Ms. Arbiter was branded Nazi Barbie, toxic racist liar, and apartheid Vicky. CNN was urged by the Sussex squad to sack her. She said, I just want to clear my name and for them to apologize and be accountable for what they did. They set out to have a laugh and make some money, and in the process destroyed my life as I knew it. If it wasn't for my family and friends, I don't know what the eventual outcome would have been. Miss Arbiter was paid a fee of £300, which was never cashed, she claims, was told that she was taking part in a program to be aired on ITV. After the interview, but that the program makers, using fake company name beneath the fold, needed a pre-record. Ms. Arbiter says giving the interview in advance is a recognized industry practice, and she was merely trying to help out what she thought was a legitimate program maker. They are legitimate, just not the one you thought. Archie and Josh sowed the seeds and then willfully allowed the Sussex squad to do the worst, said Miss Arbiter. The onslaught was relentless. I lost my ability to earn an income, and we were still in the midst of the pandemic. So we were still in the midst of a pandemic, so there wasn't a survival job to be had. I was so scared to leave my home. I lost a stone in weight and my eyelashes fell out. This is terrible, but I didn't know I just didn't know that was a thing. I still suffer from insomnia, and at the times the anxiety is so paralyzing, I am unable to function. Okay, so first and foremost, I gotta say, I could imagine this whole event with Victoria Arbiter was traumatizing. I am not going to sit here and say that must not have been a traumatizing event for her. But this whole thing happened because of Victoria Arbiter. Victoria Arbiter need to look in the mirror. She is the one that decided to take 300 pounds to appear in what she thought was a, like she said, legitimate show. It is a legitimate, not the one you think it is. And she's the one that took the money to appear in a show and be a fraud, basically. She knew she had not seen the show. She knew anybody approaching you to say, can you talk about something that you haven't seen? What would be the norm? It's like, no, I can't speak about a show that if you're a legitimate reporter, if you are a reporter with any ethics at all, that would be the first thing. You would be like, no, I can't comment on a show I haven't seen. I can't, and it definitely not take money and sign a contract, which Archie and Josh showed. They signed their contract and took money to be a part of a show for something they have not seen. So anything that happened to Victoria Arbiter, while I sympathize with someone going through, this being, anxious and, again, she said she lost weight and her eyelashes fell out, which again, was a thing. I didn't even know that was possible for your eye. I mean, I don't know. I never thought about it. I didn't know eyelashes could fall out. I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but it's just like, huh? I didn't know that was a thing. So I empathize with that. It's like you go through all of those things because it played on your mind. It's something that caused you sleepless nights. It should, but you can't be blaming other people because you lied, you are a fraud, and your fraud got exposed. And so to be blaming Josh because you signed up and signed a contract and took money to commit fraud, that is ridiculous. This is you're doing. Anything that happened to you is all from your hands. Not only did you do it, you did it with your own father. Dickie Arbiter is her father. So the both of you need to look at yourselves. The both of you need to look in the mirror and realize all of this happened at your own hands. It is your fault that you lost weight. It is your fault that CNN sacked you. And for the nerve, again, talking about so-called Sussex. No. We're not so-called anything. We are the Sussex Squad. We called you out. We did not bully you. We literally just simply called you out. You can look at the under any of her posts around that time where people were tagging her with it. Most of it was talking about, no, you need to come clean. You need to apologize. I tweeted at her to apologize on my old account. To apologize. She needed to apologize. Victoria committed fraud. What she did was very deceiving because she has an audience. She is always talking about she was raised at Kensington Palace. She grew up there because her father was the Queen's private secretary and was also Prince Charles. He also worked for Prince Charles. So Victoria Arbiter comes with supposedly an element of credibility because she was raised at Kensington Palace. That's where she lived when she was a kid. I don't know from what age. I think when she was a teenager or something like that. That's where she lived. So when you bring that to the table, people assume you are credible. And only to find out you did this. And not only that, you are on camera. You are on video doing this. And now you have the nerve, gall, and audacity after you did this on camera, signed a contract, took money, and sat there knowing you did not see this and you are commenting on something that you did not see. This is fraud. Nowhere have I seen Victoria Arbiter say, I am sorry. Nowhere has Victoria Arbiter admitted to what she did, how she completely, misled her viewers. The people that count on her for credible commentary. The people that comment her, that trust what she says. Nowhere has Victoria Arbiter said, I am sorry, what I did was wrong. Instead, what Victoria Arbiter has done to bypass, and she, what Victoria has just doing here is Victoria basically assumes that the majority of people that are Sussex Squad are Black women. This is her mind. We've had this conversation with Victoria Arbiter before. And called her out for her racist behavior and denying racism. She would say, yes, very vague. Yeah, right, Meghan. she suffered racist abuse. She would never call out her friends in the British press. She would never call them out for their racism, for their misogyny, for their xenophobia, whatever. She would never call out her friends, specifically call out her friends in the British media, And so for her, Victoria looked at this and she sees, I am a white woman, and these people, these so-called Sussex Squad, are supposedly in, for her, black women. So I can use my white women's tears and claim victimhood because those black women bully me. Therefore, I've lost my job because they bullied me. I've lost work before because they bullied me. I am a single mother and I have to support my child, and because those black women bullied me, I could cry my white tears and gain sympathy so that I can get more work. This is Victoria Arbiter. And she wonders why she is termed Apartheid Barbie. And by the way, it's not Nazi Barbie or, Vicky Nazi, whatever they were saying, Apartheid Vicky. No, it was Apartheid Barbie. That's the name that she has been given, basically. This is her thing. This is where she is coming from, She knows her power. She knows what white women tears, the power white women's tears has. And this is her basically saying that, no, CNN, they can't judge for themselves that I am unethical. They can't judge for themselves that I am a fraud and what I did was fraudulent. They can't judge for themselves that what I did was completely deceitful and deceiving of their audience. And also that it was so insulting to your audience that really count on you for credible commentary about the royals. No, CNN's leaders and their bosses can't look at that video and see you for the fraud you are. No, it's because of the Sussex Squad making them fire you, making NBC not hire you anymore, only because these black women bullied you till that and because of all the tweets we did to CNN and stuff, that is the reason why you don't have a job. Girl, please. You are a fraud. You were outed as a fraud. What you should have done, and what could have probably helped your eyelashes not fall out, is at the moment you realize what you did, and you realize how wrong it was, and you realize what you did was unethical, you should have apologized. That is what someone who really wants to change, and really, someone who's like, okay, this is wrong. This is what you do. Nobody is perfect. We've all made mistakes. Anybody could understand, you know what? I did wrong. I apologize. This will never happen again. I am sorry to the people who looked to me for commentary, who looked to me for credible commentary. What I did was wrong, and I apologize. It's never going to happen again. That is what you should have done. If you had done that, people understand that. We've all made mistakes. We've all done things that we regret and don't, it's like, okay, I am never going to do this again. People could, you would have got flack, but it would not have been where your eyelashes are falling out. The problem with you is that you still don't want to acknowledge what you did was wrong. You want to be wrong and strong. You want to be a fraud in peace. Well, I'm sorry. You're not going to be a fraud in peace. The squad is not going to make you be a fraud in peace. And then not especially when you're using something about Harry and Meghan. You're not going to be a fraud in peace. You should have apologized. You still have not apologized. You still have not taken ownership of the fact of your fraudulent behavior. And that is why you are where you are. So, and the fact is, the thing about this whole thing just sort of came out of nowhere. I haven't heard Victoria Arbiter's name among the squad in I don't know how many months. Honestly, I'm thinking the squad probably forgot Victoria Arbiter was among the land of the living. Like, we forgot about her. And all of a sudden, nobody sent for you. And all of a sudden, you are coming to attack the squad because you are a fraud and you got outed for a fraud? Girl, please. The absolute audacity of this woman. And so, of course, our squaddies are not taking, she probably expected, Harry and Meghan don't really respond to them. But I'm sorry, you come at the squad, we'll come back at you hard. And I know one of the squaddies has already contacted NBC, and she's like, we want to know exactly why you fired Victoria Arbiter? Is it because of the squad, or is it, is it because of y'all realize that what she is? I mean, this is such white supremacy behavior of, let me blame other people, especially Black people, but never take responsibility for, you see it. I mean, we talk about this all the time here about not taking responsibility. They would rather blame other people, throw their mess on other people, than acknowledge the fact that they are wrong, and then also refusing to apologize. They will never apologize. They rather throw other people under the bus than apologizing for their mess. And this is what Victoria Arbiter is doing. Despicable Victoria Arbiter, utterly despicable. And again, not one of the people, excuse me, who did this, her father, Dickie Arbiter, Richard Fitzwilliam, or the other woman, whatever her name is, and I don't even care, Majesty Magazine person, Ingrid Seaward, or whatever her name is, not one of them has apologized. They've all made excuses. Dickie Arbiter claiming it was a scam. I think Richard was like, I'm not sorry, and I don't even know what Ingrid said about the whole thing, but I know none of them has apologized for it. And again, this is the white supremacist behavior. You're caught and you're a fraud, and instead of acknowledging it, you blame other people for your fraudulent behavior. No, Victoria Arbiter, you need to buy yourself a mirror. You need to look in the mirror and see the fraud that you are. And maybe then your eyelashes will grow back. Unbelievable. Unbelievable to me that people would do this sort of thing. And blame what unreal to me. Any normal person would be like, by now, how many months this has been? Like, we forgot about this woman. You think you would have gotten to the place of understanding, like, okay, what I did was wrong. There is no way to acknowledge, there's no way to hide what you did. You on video doing it. And then have the nerve to say that she wants to clear her name, and for Archie and Josh to apologize and be accountable for what they did. Like, you have to have some nerve. You have to have some nerve to get to that position, to be a complete fraud, and not only that, put that out there in the press, saying that other people need to apologize and be held accountable. What about you apologizing? What about you being held accountable? And your body right now is holding you accountable. What is happening is your body is telling you what you need to be doing. Victoria Arbiter. Unreal. So anyway, that's my girl. I am just like unreal to me that people do this kind of nonsense. And of course, it's all in the British press, because obviously, the one-sided British press. And this is the thing too, I think this, if you notice, over the last few months, it's a lot of stuff has been like Sussex Squad. What they're doing is what they did to Meghan. Is what the British press always do. They will keep doing the Sussex Squad, this bad group, this bad Sussex Squad. What they're doing is building a narrative. They're building a narrative to rubbish Sussex Squad. By the end of it, their goal is exactly what they've done to Meghan, as you've noticed. It's like the more and more and more that their readers and their supporters read the bad Sussex Squad, the boogeyman. So whenever they hear Sussex Squad, they'll associate Sussex Squad with this horrible group, this negative group. What they're wanting to do is destroy any group that supports the Sussexes. That's what they do. That's how they isolate people. When they destroy their supporters, they can isolate them and then they destroy. This is what they're doing. But sorry, British press, and you despicable reporters in the British press, you're not going to be able to do that with Sussex Squad. We are a worldwide group of people. We don't subscribe to your standards. We don't subscribe to what you're doing. Trust me. There is no way you can do. You can say whatever you want and try whatever you want, but we'll come back at you. So I'm telling you, moving on from the nonsense of Victoria Arbiter and her dastardly friends in the British press. This is oh my gosh, somebody just donated. I just want to honor that. Sheila, thank you so much for the super sticker or the donation. Thank you so much. He says Vicky is still married and her racist tweets with the Rangers have resurfaced. She called us sugars many times. Whoa. She shouldn't have mentioned the Sussex squad. I didn't even know that. That she did. She called. She's still married. She said she claimed that she's a single mother. I knew she was married. I mean, I don't know what her relationship is, and I know she has a son. Well, you know what? If you don't have a job, Vicky, it's time that your son, get a job to support himself. Sorry. Nope. No sympathy here. Zero sympathy. Or use your royal connections. Y'all sit there all day, supporting and, basically caping to the royals, then maybe you should, ask them for some of the millions, the millions of taxpayer funds that they've been grifting. Maybe y'all can ask. I mean, Royal Dickie was the Queen's press secretary eons ago. Maybe he can go beg the Queen for some money so you can help pay for your son if he can't find a job. So there you go. I have no sympathy here for this. But thank you so much, Sharon. I'm so sorry, Sharon. Sheila. So sorry, Sheila, for your support. But yeah, again, I don't know. I know she was married, but I don't know what her situation. She said she's a single mom who, whatever. But who knows? And so this is some just some responses. I mean, there has been tons of responses, Vaccine work, says Victoria Arbiter. She should just sat there and regrew her eyelashes and said she wanted to blame the Sussex squad for her lack of morality and journalistic etiquette. Now she's about to get Victoria Arbiter is a liar trending again. Victoria, well, definitely I saw Apartheid Barbie was trending somewhere yesterday. Oh wow, Victoria Arbiter lies for money on tape and then tries to blame others for her failings. It's hilarious if white female victimhood was deadly, wasn't a deadly gambit used for the time immemorial. Not sure. But also, so let me get this right. A lying royal gossiper got caught reporting a lie for cash. When she's caught out, she's now playing victim. Bottom it says, you got caught lying. You made a fool of yourself. You aren't a victim. It's called consequences. Victoria Arbiter is a liar. Sarah, who, she contacted CNN. She's, Sarah says, Victoria Arbiter, I reached out to a few CNN producers to confirm if, as you claim is true, you claim that you were fired because of the Sussex squad. You seem to imply CNN producers at CNN were not embarrassed or horrified by your ethical breach. Let's see after the holidays. So yeah, we're waiting on CNN's producer's reply to her that she was only fired because of the Sussex squad and not because they saw her unethical behavior. Victoria. Hashtag Victoria Arbiter just reminded me that this video of her being dishonest, deceitful, and unethical exists. Yeah, many of us forgot about Victoria and her unethical behavior. Meghan never stood a chance with these charlatans. And Chris, who always writes the most amazing things, says Victoria Arbiter is a liar, got her start on Oprah's talk show by claiming she can't cook. Years later, Victoria Arbiter is a liar, ends her career by lying about Oprah's interview. And if you don't know, that is absolutely true. That's where she got her start. On a show, her son, and her husband, who, well, now she claims that, she's no longer married, but she got her show on Oprah when some kind of she said that she couldn't cook and all of that stuff. So she was there with her son and her husband, and now her career seemed to have ended by her basically lying about Oprah interview that she didn't see. Very interesting there. But okay, guys, it is 1:44. If you just haven't known, I'm sure Baron has started again. If you had to run off the Baron, totally understand. We're gonna keep going, and you could come back and see this on the replay. So yeah, so just saying that again. But anyways, again, this is what consequence look like. When you're lying, defrauding, and unethical, this is what consequence look like. And it seems like these women, especially these, I don't know, white supremacist women, don't understand what consequence is. It's like, yeah, that's what consequence is. You lie and are unethical, you get fired. You can't represent a company, not that they are perfect. I mean, I'm sure they have their, issues too, but you're on camera being lying and unethical. Don't expect to have jobs. You know what I mean? So seriously. Whoosh. Anyways, moving on. Lord. Actually, let's before we even get to this, let's see what y'all saying. And yeah, let's just go back for a second and see what y'all saying. Leg says, Pedal, did you see the invisible contract change the title of the article to make it look like a victim? Yeah, we just looked at that. Absolutely. I saw it. Yeah, there it is. There it is. She didn't look like a victim enough in the first article, when they first did it. So they changed the headline to Cruel Hoax and Sussex Squad Ruined My Life. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, the first one where, she threatened to sue pranksters. No, she wasn't, the white princess being attacked by black people before. But no, they had to change it. Yeah, it's unreal. Absolutely unreal. Let's see. Gaza says, hello, squaddies. Hi, Pedal. Call them out. I mean, Sussex Squad have been calling them out for the last few days. It's ridiculous. Unreal. Let's see. Joy says, you notice she didn't release this article in the US. The US media probably wouldn't print it. The BP prints anyway. Anything. Yeah, no, yeah, of course. I mean, would I be surprised if some, bottom feeding US tabloids pick this up? No, I wouldn't be surprised at all. But, they'll, if any one of the other, say legit press in the US pick it up, then they'll have to go in and look at her role in this video, and which is what CNN and NBC, I mean, saw. That's why she doesn't have a job there anymore. Unreal. Karen Warner says, the Source Squad has intelligent people of all race and color, and we are not manipulated, oppressed, suppressed by lies. We know you all games. Okay, I'm not sure I understand the last part, but yeah, but in their mind, one of the thing about, especially say with Victoria Arbiter, there's always this thing with black women, and that's her angle that she's coming from. That's where that bullying is. Why you see that it's the whole narrative is why you see that Meghan bullying the white staff at Kensington Palace, Meghan the black, the biracial one bullying that staff, the whole narrative of Meghan making Kate cry. It's the same thing. It's like the same horrible pattern going. It's the same thing. Whenever there is especially black women associated with something, you will always see this narrative. And this is what Victoria Arbiter is playing on. She is the white princess who has lost her job, and he's a single mom and all of that. And this dastardly, black women especially, is bullying her out of all her stuff. I mean, it's just the sick narrative. But anyway, moving on. Let's just move on from Victoria Arbiter and her nonsense. Unreal. Let's see. So anyway, this happened a couple of days ago. When we were talking, with Jason Knauf and his mess with the bullying, inquiry, which was not really a bullying inquiry. It was an inquiry. That's why, people are like, well, why isn't Meghan saying anything? And it's like, the inquiry was not about her. The inquiry was about, their policies, the HR policies that are at the palace. And so they didn't look into the claims itself. They look into how they handle claims. So what would Meghan be, demanding? There's nothing to demand. They've used her name, and I don't know how that will be cleared up, but anyway, so this very interesting Neil Mitchell, who I've been trying to get a hold of and can't seem to get a hold of him, he tweeted this, and it was very interesting. tweet, and I was like, very interesting. Back in 2021, when the whole bullying stuff, he tweeted, said, so Jason Knauf, working in PR at RBS was not the privilege of your career. Being the royal PR, I don't use that word, was. Kate and William's side, who accused Meghan of bullying, quits. And so this guy apparently knows Jason Knauf from when he worked at RBS, which is a bank that closed, and I guess it was a whole big scandal. And Jason Knauf was their PR person. He was their, as he called them, one of their spin doctors for that bank, and there was like a whole big mess that happened with that bank. And so when this whole thing came out again that the palace was not going to release it, he tweeted again. Neil Mitchell tweeted again. He tweeted this. It says, Jason Knauf, former comms secretary, blubbing about being bullied by Meghan Markle. I crossed him when he was in dark arts of nasty communication strategy press briefings against me and other victims at NatWest Group, RBS GRG. He is not who he makes out. And I have been trying to get in touch with this guy because I'd love to talk to him about his experience with Jason Knauf and the other victims that he talked about with Jason Knauf. And so am I surprised to know that there are other victims that Jason Knauf has done this kind of thing to? No, I am not surprised at all. I don't think anybody is. But it'll be very interesting to see. And, again, notice what he said. When Jason Knauf was in dark arts of nasty communication strategy press briefings against me and other victims, Jason Knauf has done this thing before. He has done where he has used the press to try to destroy people. So again, keep your fingers crossed, pray that somehow I'm able to get in touch with this guy, because every angle has not worked so far. And it was very interesting to see. Richard Eden talked about this, and of course I wasn't following the Royals back in 2014, obviously, so I didn't even know this until somebody posted they posted this screenshot the other day, that Richard Eden had posted, and he said, failed bank RBS spin doctor Jason Knauf to be the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and Harry's new comm secretary. So Jason Knauf had for some reason this other, I don't remember what's what Vicky Diamond was saying there, but could have been like how, look at how Richard Eden was speaking about Jason Knauf back then. And to see how when all of this happened, when Jason Knauf was hired, that they were all suspicious of him because of his work at RBS. To see how they allowed him now as this kind of hero figure because of the horrible Meghan, and Jason Knauf is like the hero, and to see how they viewed him back then and now they view him now is very interesting. But again, I want to talk to this Neil Mitchell to see to get to figure out what and to learn about Jason Knauf's history at this bank, because it would be very interesting to see. But again, are we surprised that Jason Knauf has other victims that he's done this stuff to? No. I mean, gosh, unreal. So anyways, Jessica says, we are not surprised, but sure would like to know more on that story. Jason Knauf must have a history of doing these things. Yeah, according to Neil Mitchell, he does. He definitely does have a history of doing that stuff. And again, he was a spin doctor. So imagine what he was into. And apparently there was a whole big mess that went down with RBS. So interesting. Absolutely interesting to see, and to think of it, and to think of that is the kind of person that Prince William hired, and again, Harry was also part of that, that they hired to again, but again, Prince William is the head of Kensington Palace, so there you go. Unreal. Charlie says, absolutely left a trail of bad blood in that RBS establishment. And like elephants, they always hold the score and seek revenge. this guy is not going. Neil Mitchell is not going away. I have a feeling he's going to be talking a lot more. Very interesting about Neil Richard. I mean, they were Neil Mitchell. Sorry, is that he his company? I guess he started a company, and his company is in the city of London. So we've talked about the city of London before, and So again, is anybody among any of them these people technically say clean? Maybe, but we know what the history of London is. But again, it'll be interesting to find out. So just a little bit of tidbit. His company is in the city of London. So maybe that's not why we're not getting a hold of him. Could be. So anyways, moving on. Just gonna touch on this for a second. I think we may have already known this. 2 police officers sacked, and they were a part of a group, I guess, in a WhatsApp chat that were posting racist stuff. And, to no one's surprise, a part of their racism was targeted to our Duchess. And it says 2 Metropolitan police officers have been sacked for posting offensive messages in a group chat, including racist joke about the Duchess of Sussex. A PC Dev Jer, which you look at that and you're like, okay, this is a person of color, very unreal. And PC Hefford, who worked at Bethnal Green Police Station in East London, posted inappropriate, highly offensive, and discriminatory content on WhatsApp in 2018. A tribunal decided on Friday the action, labeled abhorrent and discriminatory, amounted to gross misconduct, meaning they were dismissed from the force. The hearing at the Express State Building in West London heard the post, including one about Meghan, were discriminatory and serious in nature. So it was discriminatory and serious in nature. Vishal Mishra, representing the Met, says the panel has found that the posting were abhorrent and discriminatory in nature, and the damage it has done to the public's confidence is substantial and far-reaching. He went on, they have shown little by the way of remorse and contrition, minimizing and deflecting what has been said to excuse behavior rather than explain. And again, none of us are surprised by the Met Police officers doing this. We've heard this before. This is a pattern in the Met Police department. And again, why, security for Harry and Meghan, they're in the UK, is so important. Again, one of the reasons I'm like, are you sure about having the Met Police protect your family? Because this is who they are. This is what they've been doing. And it's, so unreal. I mean, the good part is that they've been fired, so my thing is, how many more in the Met Police have been doing the same thing and are still doing the same thing? Unreal. So moving on. Okay. There's been so many things with Prince Charles. So many things with Prince Charles. And this one is just like, and I know for the fact that we've been talking about this, so I know none of us here are going to be surprised by anything I say. We've seen from, last, 2021, and actually quite a bit in 2021, Prince Charles, how close he has become with Daily Mail. Well, not become, I mean, they've been close, but they have just been going full court press. Him and Camilla have been going full court press with their relationship with the Daily Mail. And, in 2021, last year, I mean, Prince Charles even wrote, as you can see this article, he even wrote an article for the Daily Mail, about climate change. Prince Charles writes exclusively for the Mail Online, Mail Online, Daily Mail, Mail and Sun, they're all part of the same family. And so him and Camilla have been going full press with their relationship with the Daily Mail. Never mind that Meghan was suing them and, obviously won her case against them. Never mind that Prince Harry they've sued them so many times, and still right now Prince Harry is suing them, for lying on him. And so Prince Charles and Camilla, earlier this year, actually, in February, we saw this article from from the Spectator, Peter Hunt, who was a royal reporter for the BBC. Now he writes for the Spectator. He wrote this article about Camilla and her relationship with the tabloids, and especially the Daily Mail. And this was one of the big quotes from that article on the left. It says, Camilla, how Camilla came in from the cold. That was the name of the article. And one of the excerpt of that, it says, Camilla has been Kennedy. She kept the media close and the Daily Mail even closer. The Spectator loved that quote so much. You can see on the right, they actually tweeted about it. They tweeted it out. They love that quote so much. And absolutely true. Camilla and her close relationship with, think about it. When was the last time you've seen a negative article about Camilla Parker Bowles in the British tabloids? When was the last year you've seen that a negative article about Camilla? You will not find one. And that is how close Camilla is with the tabloid editors in the UK. They are best friends, And so, yeah. So we also saw this, later on in the year in March, after Peter Hunt's article in February. In March, we saw this. Camilla, tears for Ukraine. The Duchess of Sussex make substantial donation to the Mail's appeal for emotional visit to London Church. And you can see the highlighted part on the bottom of that, the Daily Mail, they were doing this fundraiser for Ukraine. The Duchess has now made a private contribution to the Mail's record-breaking refugee appeal. Many organizations in the UK were doing fundraisers for the Ukraine. Many of them. The royal family and even Prince Charles donated to different ones. Camilla chose the Daily Mail. Of all the places doing this, Camilla chose the Daily Mail to put her money, a substantial amount. And at the same time, why she did this? At the bottom, the very same, the day before, she noticed she did this. The Mail reported about it on March 8th. March 7th, if you look at the bottom right, her Ben Elliott, the Tory chief Ben Elliott, keeps links to Moscow Bank. Who is Ben Elliott? Ben Elliott is her nephew, and Prince Charles's nephew by marriage. That's her. He works for the Tory government. He works for Boris Johnson. They started reporting about him and his connection to the Moscow Bank. On the right, the BBC reported about it as well, March 8th, the same day that Camilla made her big donation to the Mail. It says a conservative co-chair closes quintessentially office in Russia. Quintessentially is Ben Elliott's company. When we first started hearing about the cash for access, cash for honest thing, that was the first story that came out, that he was his company quintessentially was part of the cash for access scheme, taking cash for access to Prince Charles. That was the first time we started hearing it last year, July 31st, whatever it was last year. That's the first time we started hearing all these things with coming out about Prince Charles. And so the BBC says conservative co-chair closes quintessentially office in Russia. The company co-owned by conservative co-chairman Ben Elliott has closed its Russia office and Russian language website amid a conflict with Ukraine. It comes after Labour accused Mr. Elliott of being at the heart of growing concerns about links between the Conservatives and Russian money. And the Labour leader has urged the Conservatives to sack Mr. Elliott, with Sir Keir Starmer telling reporters there's a growing concern about the links between Conservative Party and Russian money. Ben Elliott, Camilla's nephew, is at the heart of that. So when all of this was going on, all of a sudden, Camilla makes her big donation to the Daily Mail. Why? The Daily Mail is the biggest tabloid in the UK. They want favorite coverage. They want, favorite coverage or positive coverage. Even if the Daily Mail cover it, they will cover it in an angle where they don't go after her and Prince Charles. This is what Camilla has been doing. We saw again late last month, June 20th. Camilla, if you notice at the bottom of this, the picture, this is her with Daily Mail owner, Lord Rothermere. She was the guest of honor. If you see at the bottom of the picture of her and Lord Rothermere, it says the Duchess, the guest of honor Duchess and Lord Rothermere. This is the thing with them, with her and Lord Rothermere. They are besties. And this article, this is from the Daily Mail. They are covering this event, and the Duchess was in Wiltshire. This is the highlight. This is from the article. The Duchess was in Wiltshire to inaugurate the 2022 Daily Mail Chalk Valley History Festival and salute its mission to excite, enthrall, and entertain about the past. And it's like kind of like a history museum, I guess, whatever, festival, whatever. But it's something that the Daily Mail was putting on, and Queen Camilla was the guest of honor. And again, there is her and Lord Rothermere, the owner of the Daily Mail. So this has been a pattern of Charles and Camilla. And so I guess when you say that, then I guess the headline like this, yesterday and today, should not shock any of us. This is where we are with all of that buildup. This is where we are with Charles and Camilla. Prince Charles and Camilla hired Daily Mail executive to top post. That's right. Prince Charles and Camilla have just hired a Daily Mail editor to be their communications secretary. And again, none of us should be surprised by this. You know, it says Prince of Wales and the Duchess Cornwall have appointed Tobin Andre, that's him at the top there, deputy editor of the Daily Mail, as their new communications secretary. Andre, a seasoned newspaper executive who previously worked for the Sunday Times, will start his new roles in the coming months. He will replace Simon Enright, 52, who joined Clarence House in May last year after serving as communication director to the NHS England during the pandemic. Charles and Camilla are understood to be keen for Andre to oversee their public relations in the run-up to the change in reign, when he will become king and she queen consort. The Duchess is understood to have taken the lead in Andre's appointment, closely consulting her friend Gordy Gregg, who is the former editor of the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday, who is believed to have personally recommended him for the position. Gregg and Andre were both educated at Eton. Yes, that Eton College. And if you notice at the bottom, with them, Charles and Camilla taking a Daily Mail editor for their comm secretary, that goes along with who Kate and William took on for their comm secretary. William and Kate have also recently appointed a new communications secretary, Lee Thompson, which we talked about before, who will soon join Kensington Palace. And where did he come from? NBC Universal, an American media and entertainment company. And so this is where they're going. Daily Mail, they want Charles and Camilla want positive coverage in the UK. They go with a Daily Mail editor to be their communications secretary. William and Kate want positive coverage in the US. Who did they go with? Yes, American media guy from NBC Universal. And this is where we are. And again, we should not be shocked at any of this. It is unreal to see, and again, this is very true. Gordy Gregg, Ghislaine Maxwell friend, that's the same one, exactly the same one. The exact same Gordy Gregg. I'm telling you, these are Camilla's friends. This is one of the reasons why the Daily Mail don't really go in that hard on Prince Andrew. Why they're all in the same boat. They're all related. That's why they don't. That's why Prince Harry, when one of them claimed that, I think it was that the woman with the book, we only just refer to her as the woman with the book, that lady with the book. They refer to it as, Prince Harry being worse, more dangerous to the British royal family than Andrew. Yeah, they're all friends. The woman with the book is also a friend of Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah, they're all in the same boat. So it's unreal. So yeah, Jessica says, "Oh, that the Lord Harry and Meghan got out of that cesspool. Whew, they dodged the bullet. They sure did. They dodged a bullet." And yeah, it's. I'm telling you. Legs went in a different direction. She says, so many hypocrites, earthshot, but multiple homes, jets, helicopters, trains for Baltimore, money laundering for Charles, the silken chicken Pedro. I'm telling you. I am so happy that Meghan and Harry are out of that place. Imagine that, knowing that what the Daily Mail has done to Meghan and what they've done to Harry, and to watch Harry's own father, his own father, hire the editor of the, a deputy editor of that same newspaper, who is literally on a daily basis trying to destroy their life, as their comm secretary. And it's just, I just, you can't, like, you don't even, you don't even know what to say. It's unreal. But it's just like, yeah. Jekka says, my guess is they're going for corrupt PR people and not competent PR people, and that is why their PR always fail. Yeah, exactly. They're not looking. I mean, you look at who is, the people that they allow to report on them is the in the Royal Rota. It's, all tabloids and two glorified tabloids. Beside the regular tabloids, it's, the Times and also the Telegraph, I think, glorified tabloids. And that's who report on them, and that's what they want. They know if competent people come in there, or report on them, they're going to ask questions they don't want to answer. They're going to dig into things, and they don't want that. So that's why they bring these people in, because, you think of, why would you hire someone from the Daily Mail? You need somebody who's going to lie for you. You need somebody who's going to spin the truth. You need somebody who is going to deal in nasty press. And if they'll go after someone, if you want to go after someone and rubbish someone's name, who do you bring in? Someone who is a master. People who are masters of rubbishing people's names and monstering people. The Daily Mail. You bring in people from the Daily Mail. That's their tactic. To rubbish and monster people. That's what they're doing, And so it's unreal. That's why it's like, I don't understand when you look at people who are supposedly intelligent people, follow the day and believe any of the nonsense that comes from the royal family. I don't understand it, So yeah, it just. Joanne says, OMG, this vengeful behavior continues. These people never learn. Unbelievable, disgusting royal family. And it just, yeah, yeah. Lexus and all this on the taxpayer dime. The thing that's different with Prince Charles, though, and who he hires, and apparently this guy is gonna get paid multi-million. Apparently gonna be like a multi-million-dollar paycheck. Prince Charles his money does not come from the sovereign grant. The money that he pays people and that he pays for William now, since Harry is no longer part of that mess, that comes from the Duchy of Cornwall. So it's different. It's not from taxpayers. It's from the, Duchy of Cornwall. So that's, ultimately, I mean, the British people are the one who buys his mess and really give him money anyway. So in a sense, it comes from there, but it doesn't come from tax money. So that's the difference. So Sylvia says, Petal, Harry and Meghan have moved on with their lives. Harry took his beloved family from Shutter Island. Harry's well aware of who those propaganda liars are, and he knew it was time to go. Absolutely. Absolutely. And people are commenting, about Harry and Meghan not taking part and not really being around the family when they went back for the Jubilee thing. And I'm telling you, thank God Harry and Meghan know who these people are, and they'll probably like, yeah, I came for my, grandmother's birthday, and that's it. That's the only thing I'm going to be part of, so good for them. So anyways, let's see, a few more. And again, I'm hoping that anyone who needed to go off to Barron went off, and so again, they could come back. You could always come back and watch this on the replay. So let's see who else. Let's see. Joy says, Charles and Camilla are more afraid of the mail than doing the right thing by Her Majesty. Yeah, I mean, it's, Harry and Meghan. I'm assuming Harry and Meghan. Yeah, I mean, as Harry and Meghan said, and Harry talked about just, it's a protection racket that's there. It's like, you pay them, you basically have them on board and be their best friends and leak information to them in order for them to protect you. And that's what this is. They are terrified. And Harry talked about it, that how his family are terrified of the tabloids. And we've seen in this last week with Charles talking about Rwanda and all of that stuff. And also, as that garbage twin let out, that this was revenge for that all of this stuff is coming out with Charles. And I'll do an episode on Charles' latest mess. But, this whole thing is coming out because they have to keep Charles in check. If he's not in check, if he went and spouts his mouth like he did, they're gonna release things, and one can only imagine what the dirt they have on Charles. One could only imagine. So this hiring him Daily Mail executive to that post, that could have all come in there. It's like, okay, we need to keep the Daily Mail on our side, so let's hire one of their people because all this mess is coming out, and maybe he will help stem the flow, or at least turn their readers to let them not attack us. I mean, I'm not surprised about this. Charles, and Camilla need somebody. I guess they probably feel they need some tabloids on their side. So I'm like, I don't know how you could live like that. I don't know, at this point, it's like, just let's forget about it. Just say all the things you need to say and I'll deal with it, instead of trying to sort of patch work. And so to make all the stuff not come out. And it's like, every time you patch up one side, another side comes out. And I don't know how you live like this. So anyways, Terry said it's been reported that 2 of her nephews work for the Daily Fail. I don't know. I mean, I hadn't heard that, but would I be surprised? No. I mean, I know that her son, whatever, Tom Parker Bowles, I think his name is, he does like a cooking thing, I think. And I think he does something like that for the Daily Mail or something, or they cover his cooking thing. It's they're all, I mean, it's all one toxic tabloid mess with that family. It's unreal to me. And I always think back to Harry's, like, Harry, how did you end up in this family? How exactly did you end up in this family? I just don't know. Yeah, it's unreal. So let's see. A few more before we jet out of here. It's just... let's see. Yeah, Joy was jumping on Joyce a lot here. Joyce says Daily Fail has a lot on Charles and Camilla, also William. That's what they hold over their heads. Yeah, I mean, I would say I don't understand why you would allow someone to have that sort of thing above your head. I'm of the mind, look, if you have a whole bunch of stuff on me, I'd rather you just expose it and get it over it and get it, than trying to hide it. And then there's this drip thing over your head. And it's like, that is prison. And for me, that's all about freedom. I can't imagine. I'd rather you just tell the truth and let it all come out and be like, you know what, I'll deal with it, than to allow someone to hold something like that over my head. I couldn't live like that. So yeah, it's unreal. Sylvia says, Pedal, do you see how fast Harry got his family out of Shutter Island when he probably heard from Nacho and Delfina about how that awful man calling his wife brazen just for looking out the car window? Oh yes, the awful book guy. And we are only going to call him the awful book guy and not say his name. But yeah, I'm telling you, Harry and Meghan, all we can say is we are just thanking the Lord himself that you got your family out of that place. It is unreal. I don't know how you live that way. And then I also don't know how you're supposed to be this ethical place and you live in that way. So yeah, it's unreal to me. But anyways, let's and Terry says, these are the people who give them positive press because they can't survive with the negative press. And yeah, and that's the thing too, is kind of like they're so afraid of, it's like we want positive press, we want positive press. but then they do all these horrible things. I'm like, well, why don't you just do things that will give you actual, real positive press? Really put your heart into, into the projects you're doing. Put your heart really, instead of just the fake smile and wave thing, actually give of yourself to people. Actually, get out of yourself and be the people that your community or whatever need to be, so that you can actually have positive press instead of the fake positive press. Harry and Meghan don't have to do this mess to get positive press. What they do get positive press, the actual work that they're doing, and so let the people, instead of focusing on your clothes and all that stuff, direct the press to focus on the charity that you're working on, so it just, I don't know. I don't know. It's unreal to me. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Cookies and Cream. Hey, Cookies and Cream says, thank God the Sussexes have loyal, loving people in their corner that they can truly depend on. And that is definitely the thing. I'm glad that they have a family that they have chosen. I love how Gloria Steinem says, we are a chosen family. And it's like, yeah, you choose. Your people always says like, oh, you can't choose your family. Yes, you can. Meghan and Harry have definitely chosen their family, the people that they surrounded, with. And I just absolutely love that. And the positivity that they have, with the Nacho and his family, now Church Nelly down, Nacho and his family, Gloria, Misan Harriman and his family, Prince Ciso, Oprah, the Better Up community, the Invictus community, such incredible positive community that they have chosen to surround themselves with. And that's why, for me, they're striving. That's why they could now, if you notice, Harry and Meghan do not respond to anything. They don't respond, good or bad. They just silence. And Nacho had posted this thing a while ago on his Instagram that says, if I might be misquoting it, if people are intent on it, misunderstanding your intentions or something, treat them with silence. And I could just have completely butchered what he'd said, but that's the gist of it. And I think Harry and Meghan are literally doing exactly that. They don't care what it is. They're just not, they will not respond. They will not say a word about it. And I love that. And I hope they hold on to that. And silence has a lot of power. Now everybody's like, what do they think? What are they doing? Wait, it's like, no. We are treating you with silence, and we are focusing on what we want to focus on. So I am very, very happy to see Harry and Meghan do that. Edith says, I am strongly believe that the death of the Lady Diana, or Princess Diana, saved his reputation. The royal family and the British media would have destroyed her. The Sussex squad saved, and hope they continue. Harry and Meghan. Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for us just, especially lauding their achievements, their work and stuff like that, if we had depended on the British press to promote or to really lift up Harriet, I mean, gosh, goodness, they probably wouldn't be here, so it's because of the Sussex squad that we've been the one that's been out there just promoting their work, promoting what they're doing, and making sure that the world get to see Harry and Meghan, especially that they're not on social media. We've been their social media, so very happy, Church Nelly, hey, Church Nelly, she says, Harry knows exactly what kind of people there are in the discussing family. Yeah, he does, yes, he does. And I'm very happy that they have taken their leave of that situation. Let's see. Thank you, Lydia says, reminding everyone to like, share, subscribe, join monthly membership if you're able. Thank you, Lydia, for reminding everyone. And so we're going to jet out of here in a second, but let's see a couple more before we go. Cynthia Ashton says, hi, Petal. These people think their money and titles can buy peace of mind. It's an illusion. It makes them miserable. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And a lot of people buy into that thing too, that money would give you that. No, they can't. I can't. Again, how do you have peace of mind knowing the Daily Mail and all the other tabloids have junk on you and they can drop it on you at any moment? What kind of peace of mind does that bring? I don't care how much money you have, definitely. Jessica said, yeah, treat them with silence. And that is what the Sussexes are doing, treating them with silence. So absolutely. Let's see. Couple more before we jet out. I keep saying a couple more. And a couple more and a couple more. Let's see. Let's see. One more. And Dory says, and God is good all the time. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you, Dory. In all of it, God is good all the time. We're happy that he's been so good to take our faves out of there, move them to another continent, and they are having a grand old time. Hopefully, they are having their peace and their peace with their family and friends in Montecito. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you haven't, as Lydia reminded everyone, please like, share this video, subscribe, click the notification bell if you haven't already, so that way you know when we drop a video or when we're coming on live, even when we drop in very, very impromptu with my crazy schedule. So please do that. There are a lot of ways you can support the channel. Again, joining us. There are a lot of ways you can support us financially if you'd like. We do have merchandise. Please, it's good. The link will be in the show notes in a few minutes when I put in all the other show notes there. Definitely, if you're interested, shop until you drop. That's another way to support us. We do have PayPal, we do have Cash App. At the bottom of this video, you'll see a $sign and a heart sign and a thanks next to it or under it or something. That's another way you can support us as well. And thank you so much to wonderful supporters here who have supported us, did the super stickers and donations here as part of the chat. We appreciate it. Again, no obligation, but if you're interested, we are very much appreciated. So thank you guys so much for sparing a few minutes of your Sunday to hang out with me. I appreciate, especially I missed you all since I didn't see you all since last Thursday. And so I hopefully will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And we are going to bring in and we are going to end it with some music from Into Space, as we always do. So thanks again. There we are. Have a fantastic day, everyone. I love you. See you all in the comments if you like. All right. Thank you so much, Lydia, Church Nelly, Cookies and Cream, Karen M, for being awesome moderators. Thank you. Thank you. I love you all. See you soon. Bye-bye.